Alright, it's that time again, gentlemen, it's that time again. We do love post-split fixtures. They always bring up fun times, especially with the recent developments, but nonetheless everything should be working, everything should sound crisp and clear as well, and all the frames should be doing what they need to do. What's happening? What's good? It's game day. It's match day. We're up against Falkirk, a team that has, for all intents and purposes, struggled over the last few matches in terms of form. Obviously losing the cup match to Dunfermline would have been a kick in the stones for them after the 6-3 loss to Rangers in the game before, so coming into Celtic Park they're not going to be probably backing themselves as much as they probably would have done about a month ago, but again it's still a very decent John McGlynn side, and of course we know that they're capable of causing us some fucking problems. But how are you all doing? Nice to see you all. Always nice to see people in chat. We'll shout the first few that are in. Nice to see you, mate Dread. Hope you're good, my guy. I mean, it's, as far as everything else is working out, I don't mind the line out for what we probably could have fielded today. I don't mind this one at all. Just pulling up all the things so that you can see them yourself. Bear with me while I do so. Oh, trust me, we'll touch on that as the stream goes on, because I mean this week has been pretty weird as a Celtic fan. I mean, there's been some good and bad news. People have mixed reactions to certain parts of said news, so I'll kind of, once more people come in anyway, we'll kind of pitch that question more towards chat and see what the common theme is, because there's definitely been some interesting ones. I think the big one for me is obviously the kind of the contract extensions. It's a bit of a mixed one for me, because I don't mind the players that we've extended. I get why we've done it, but I don't think it makes sense when there isn't a set manager. What happens if he doesn't want to use Scales? It's going to be a very weird one at the very least. Nice to see you, Shuto. How you doing, my guy? Hope the weather's just as good as it is in Canada as here. It's a crisp, clean, well, pretty much. What is it on my phone now, actually? A solid 14 degrees apparently, which is good weather, solid weather for any game of football. We'll just pull up the lineups here so you can get a little gander at it. There you go. That's what we're working with today. For those that haven't seen it, now again the kind of question would have been, what's the attack going to look like? Are we going to start with Iniacho because he looked pretty decent in that kind of extra time stint against St Mirren? But the answer to that one is a firm but firm no from O'Neill. It seems to be the theme that he wants to stick with Maeda going through the middle for the sake of having that pace in behind for quick crosses, which makes sense if you're playing early doors with high intensity, which again, if you're going to be at Celtic Park up against a team that isn't going to have as many chances as you in Falkirk, you probably would want that. But again, it's a mixed one. I would have preferred if Maeda stayed in his natural position out on the left hand side, and you could have started maybe Yang on the right and probably have gone with Iniacho through the middle. That would have been my pick. That's what I would have thought myself, but it doesn't seem that way. It's going to be Yang on the left, Forrest on the right, and Maeda through the middle. But keep in mind, when these three were playing in extra time, it was more or less rotation based, so keep in mind they won't stick to those positions. You'll see Maeda kind of dart out left when necessary, the same way you'll see Yang kind of push out right or Forrest out left. It's definitely going to be unique to see how that works against the kind of firm backline that Falkirk tend to set up with, because they don't concede many goals, but when their defence is broken, and especially if it's broken early, they tend to crumble. But the longer they can kind of let the game go on, if they get to the 60th, 65th minute and it's still all square, they'll start to fancy their chances more and more. They are a team that tend to get late goals, so we need to keep that in mind. But Celtic are the second best team in the league when it comes to scoring goals from like the 75th minute plus. But that's usually when things get a little bit desperate. So again, I don't mind the rest of the lineup. We've got Sinisalo starting between the sticks, makes sense to me. He's been about solid as you can ask. Tierney and Ralston again starting from the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same for the semi-final. I think it is actually Tierney and Ralston, and it's the same with the backline. Trusty and Scales again. Scales getting that contract extension is always good for him. I think he absolutely deserves it. I don't understand why people are giving him as much shit. I hope that people are realising it's not with the intentions of him being like a first team starter unless he significantly improves over the next season or so. But I think it's more just so that we have a set defender in terms of obviously keeping trusting. When Carter Vickers comes back, it gives us at least a decent rotation again with Dane Murray. And if we decide to keep a hold of Welsh, we'd probably have that as well. So it's a smart piece of business, but again, it just depends on what the new manager, if the new manager even knows what Scales' capabilities are. If it's someone like a Keane that comes in, then obviously as an Irishman he would know, right, well, Scales is half decent, we know what we're going to get out of the boy, so I don't think they'll be too disappointed in that sense. But McCowan's obviously the one that's confused a few people, but it's not exactly a bad bit of business. I think McCowan's earned that, especially when he was one of the few players that kind of stood up and made it clear that they weren't happy with Nancy and his stint. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward for us in terms of the rest of the lineup. It is what you would expect, right? McGregor starting on that right hand side of the kind of deeper end of the midfield with Orm playing off the anchor. Keep in mind they'll kind of rotate. That's the good thing about O'Neill's sides. He likes to have players that can kind of push and play in multiple positions, so it works. It makes sense. Obviously, again with Scales and Tierney on that left hand side, you've seen it numerous times this season where Tierney will bomb forward and Scales will just kind of push out to make it like a flat three at the back. Ralston will kind of anchor as necessary. It's a good system. I don't mind it. Nigrin obviously has been our key player this entire season, so it doesn't surprise me at all that we've gone with him, and as long as we do the necessary things, hopefully we get chances into Maeda, who can take them when they're given to him. He tends to score the harder ones for whatever fucking reason, so hopefully he gets a couple of decent cracks at goal today. As long as we get chances, one or two should go in. That's why my prediction as is, but again, I am not confident in the fact that we have been pretty slack at the back, so it's that classic thing where I kind of have to put a goal in for the other side just because it is pretty much a guarantee that it will probably happen at some fucking point. My hope is that by half time though, we're away with it, we get those 2 early goals or something, and we can maybe get a second burst in the second half to maybe get that third, if that makes sense. I'm not expecting us to be perfect throughout the whole 90. It's definitely going to be a closer game than what most people probably think in their heads, because again, Falkirk are out of form, but it's not as if Celtic have been particularly comfortable. Right, that semi-final was a pretty good example of it. 2-0 up, everything seems like we've got cruise control, but then it just falls away as time goes on, and Falkirk, like I said, they're a pretty decent second half side, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the match. If you want to have a little look at Falkirk's lineup before we move on to the benches, so you can get a little look, it is pretty much what you would expect from a Falkirk side. Hogarth starts in between the sticks. Adams and McCann as their full backs, Allen and Nielsen as their 2 centre-back pairings, with Tate and Spencer. Spencer obviously being their main man for them. But Calvin Miller was a bit of a surprise being pushed out far left as he is. Usually tends to be a bit more central, but they've decided to push him out a bit further left than intended. But again, they'll probably go into a kind of flat midfield 5 if necessary. That's probably why they've got Progio playing on that far side too. Finn Yeats playing as their more advanced central attack midfielder. So they're basically matching Celtic's formation, which is an interesting one to see. Not many teams like to come to Celtic Park and try and match Celtic's formation, so got to respect Falkirk for that much, right? They've been a plucky side and they absolutely have earned their top 6 spot. So again, no easy games for here. Celtic have to be pretty much pitch perfect with a few additional trip-ups from other sides around us, ideally from the ones from tomorrow. If we can get a wee trip up for Hearts or draw or something in that match, that'd be good, and if Rangers can lose their game, that'd be fantastic. But Celtic have to do the business here first and foremost. It is the minimum that is required. The boys are heading out the tunnel now and will be underway relatively soon. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. If you want a little look at the bench, there you go. You can take a little gander at that the now while we just kind of see what we've missed and shit. If we win the league, it will be an extra sweet title. I think a lot of us will very much be pleasantly surprised. I suppose that's probably the way to put it. The tifo is gorgeous. Look at that. Oi oi. I love to see that, man. That's brilliant. That's a great tifo. Shit, couldn't screenshot in time. That's irritating as fuck. Let's hope I could. Well, it's a full Celtic Park. I mean, the pitch looks in peak condition, the weather is perfect, everything looks like it's teed up to be a good day. 2 of the older statesmen in terms of managers. Again, McGlynn and O'Neill exchanging handshakes as the team just moves through and the lineups are being read out, so we might as well do the same. You just change your profile picture in real time. Nice one, Madrid, love to see it. So read out the lineups one last time. We'll start with the away side for Falkirk. For those that are coming in, nice to see you, by the way, hope you all well. It's Hogarth starting in between the sticks with McCann and Adams as the full backs. It's Allen and Nielsen as their 2 centre-back pairings, with Spencer and Tate as their holding midfielders. Each playing as their central attacking midfielder, with Brogio and Miller playing either side, anchored on the wings, with Barney Stewart playing as their out-and-out advance forward up front. Celtic, similar formation, but a more powerful squad, you would have to pretty much say and give towards us, but it's Sinisalo that starts in between the sticks. Ralston and Tierney as our full-back pairings, with of course Trusty and Scales as our two centre-back options. McGregor or Skipper plays in the left-hand side of the anchor of defence, well, kind of anchor of the midfield I should say, with On playing on that left-hand side, but keep in mind they'll kind of flatten out with Nygren as necessary and as customary, especially if we're defending, which at points you probably imagine we would be doing, but Nygren for now is playing as a central attacking midfielder, which is good to see. The confidence is there. Yang starts on the left-hand side of the wing. I mean, it's an interesting one. Again, I would have thought it would have been Maeda there with any actual starting central, but instead it's Yang that starts on the left with Maeda central and Forrest getting his spot out right after his contract extension as well, which again, firmly deserved. The man is a club legend, cannot argue with it in the goddamn slightest. We can only hope that the game is just, as long as we fucking perform half decent, man, that is the bare minimum. Anything besides that, we're going to probably have problems. The opening 25-30 minutes of this game will tell us a lot, because again, Falkirk will only get better as the game goes on. Celtic will, I mean, at least in terms of recent form, tend to get worse. Extra time saved this last time, but there is no extra time in league play. It's pretty much you win or you go bust. It is that simple. Just do as necessary, boys. No stupid shit. As long as we do nothing silly, we should be fine. Again, this will kind of update in real time alongside us as necessary, but we have kicked off just so you are aware. And again, as long as we do what's necessary, we should be fine. We'll give this a little refresh and you should be in real time alongside us. There we go, fantastic. You'll get the stats in about a minute or so. That's usually when it tends to pop up, but hope you are all well as we get this one rolling. That's a nice little ball forward if we want to chase it down, but instead it's just going to kind of loft. Maeda will keep the press engaged, keep the keeper interested. He's a bit far out as well. But Hogarth deals with it well. Maeda does well to win the press though, and immediately Celtic are looking to break forward. That's a great ball in behind, but Nygren's just a little bit too slow to it. It was the right idea, right move, but didn't work out. I love that idea for Yang though, just stepping inside, trying to force it early. Good omens in the first minute, I'll say that for much. Hogarth is going to kind of punt that one forward. Let's see where it bounces. Not necessarily won by anyone, but Yang gets it at the second bite. It's popped forward by Celtic, but should be gathered quite comfortably in the end. Again, Adams and McCann playing very stretched out across that back line. That's a pretty loose giveaway again from Falkirk. It's going to be moved by Celtic. Nygren's shifted it to Maeda. There's half-hearted appeals for offside, but Falkirk don't get the call, so they just intercept instead. Really well-timed step in actually from Nielsen there, and they can kind of bomb forward. Adams overruns the pass. Spencer switches it, a nice little touch in behind there for Miller, but not really many options in terms of where he can go, so backwards it is in the meantime. But Falkirk are definitely not playing with a defensive line. They're playing with a lot more aggression than you would expect, which is lovely to see. Nice to see you, Crowtails. Hope you're well, my guy. Okay, fantastic. Apparently this the stats is interesting. I'll pull up another one if it's necessary, if it does that again. Hold on and I'll fix that in the meantime. There we go. It was just being a little cringe there for some reason. Falkirk are trying to play a higher line here out the gate, but Yang's doing very well with the physical battle. There's Maeda popping in with a little interception. It's a bit of a late challenge there for Spencer. Maeda gets up on his feet, so there's not too much trouble with it, but the Falkirk skipper gets a slight warning for the referee. It was a fair step, and I don't see too much wrong with it. Probably just the force of the challenge of anything, but Maeda doesn't seem to complain too much, which is more than fair. No arguments for either side, they all move on. That's a nice little ball forward. Celtic are moving with a lot of good purpose here. It's not the greatest first touch from Yang. Like I said, the movement is consistent though, the rotation's there. That's a great step into Scales, brilliantly timed. Very high octane opening few minutes to this match. Trusty moves it back to Ralston, and in turn Sinisalo comes into frame for quite literally the first time this game. The Finn sends it forward and it's a awkward bounce out. Not really sure who's on that one. I think it's Celtic. As a case, it was a good defensive header. Ralston's going to try and barrel that down the line. It was smart, but I mean, even if it got past them, it's not as if Forrest was anywhere fucking near it, but Sort it out amongst themselves for another throw-in. Ralston quickly tries to pop it in, and again tries to be too clever with it and is forced back. Trusty, nice first touch and a cat and pass for the second. You can hear the noise in the stadium. The boys are definitely backing them. It's just nice to hear a good, passionate, crunchy atmosphere again. That's a great touch from McGregor. Actually opens it up. The pass is, I thought originally it was overhit, but it was quite well placed for Forrest actually. The pass from Forrest isn't too great. Comes back to him though. He'll just dance around on the edge of the area, which I don't mind. Ralston trying to get around his man. I fucking respect it, but there's always going to be a bit of a hold up. Guess now they've got a couple of years in chat. What are you making of the whole situation with the let's just say allocation, right? I suppose that's probably the best way to say it. Definitely surprised me. I thought Rangers would bite. And for the first time the Celtic board actually did the right thing with what they were offering. That is a horrible punt for Hogarth. Jesus Christ, there was nowhere near anybody. He kind of puts his hand up in a half-hearted apology almost, but Celtic have yet another throw, and I feel like Ralston's probably thrown the ball in more than he's probably touched it with his feet. Might just try and shimmy up the line. I mean, Ralston's begging for anybody to try and move. Nobody really does in the end, but he's forced to throw it anyway. And Falkirk just bombed the ball forwards, and Asalo grabs it and immediately disperses it out towards Scales. He just steps forward. Nice little bit of pressing there. That's surely a foul. I was going to say that was off the ball incident for sure. He trips up and jails it. So did we go quick? That was fucking stupid, man. Maeda does well to get himself in the way of the kind of follow up, but it's out for a throw in, and Maeda kind of gestures back to be like, why didn't we get a call there? Nice to see you lost an OB well. That's probably the best way I've seen it summarised, to be honest with you. Like, quite literally, like 2 fucking words. Fuck around and find out indeed, man. It's a strange one. Just kind of sucks because both sets of fans know that the well, that's actually a good one for us, and it doesn't really go our way. McGregor will try and get on there. That's a bit of a stretch, yeah. I was going to go Falkirk's way that time. But both sets of fans love it when the away ends are packed out, right? That's what makes the kind of old firm Glasgow derby so fierce. See, when you watch those old clips for the 90s, early 2000s, even, when Rangers first came back up, there was some incredibly good atmospheres. Been in 1 or 2 of them myself. I highly missed them. That's a good ball into the box from us though. That's not horrible. Hogarth's quick out to clean it. Maybe if there was a bit of, probably a bit more awareness for Maeda to try and get in front of his man there rather than just try and run in behind them. But Celtic are already hassling to try and win the ball back from Falkirk's clearance, and Celtic have won it back in a very good area. Scales is bombing forward. He's about 40 yards out for goal. Nobody's really with him, so he lays it after Yang. He's got Scales on the outside of his Anchorman if he wants. He tries to go inside and goes for the fancy pass, and probably shouldn't have. Could have just laid that back out to Scales and caused some problems, but again Celtic go for that high press. I think they try to claim that it came off of the hand, their Celtic player there, and I think it's been pulled back in the end. Honestly, bar whether that is the case. It's been a very hectic opening stint to the game, it has to be said, Virgil. A couple of good passing moments followed up by some let's just say over-paced play. Boys maybe need to slow it down a little bit, take a touch or 2 extra, would probably calm the nerves a bit more. Skeen Falkirk more touches on the ball than O'Neill would probably be comfortable with. Speaking of that, they're trying to get into the final third, takes a wee pop off, and it's a nice wee ball into the space. In fairness, but Celtic were always going to win that second touch, goes back to Sinisalo. And then Tommy start trying to play it for the back, which is where we usually you know, have high risk, high reward, because if it works out, then we get a very good break. If it doesn't, then we put ourselves under needless pressure, which turns to be the latter. But Celtic have got themselves set up at least, and we win the interception. Fair enough then. Goes back to Scales. It's awkward. Stewart gets his bit in the way, takes a bounce off him. It's out for a throw-in. The arguments with us so far. Falkirk aren't exactly just sitting, and they're trying to go forward where they can, but Celtic have got multiple bodies pressing where they have to. You see Negrin kind of drop back in and making it a flat free where necessary, and there's a perfect example of why that's useful, because he's won the ball back in a grey area. Forrest immediately goes on the run from that pass for Ralston. Let's see what happens with it. Nice little ball into the box. It's a good wee looper, and Yang's probably just a bit too late on the run. It would have been a hell of a last for him to be able to do anything, even if it did get to it. Not the greatest ball in for Forrest, but I appreciate the drive. Yeah, I probably just took that extra touch too much in my opinion before he tried to go for that quick cross. Not ideal. Still no real chances in terms of shots. Both keepers have had a relatively calm time of things so far. Again, this is why it would have made sense for us to put Iniacho on for the start, in my opinion. Would have got his fitness up, would have done him a little bit of good. Nice to see you, Rab, as always, brother. Hope you're well. Don McGlynn will be too disappointing the start for his boys, though. If you're looking at it from Falkirk's perspective, Celtic haven't really done too much in terms of damage. A couple of half-hearted breaks into the box, but nothing too consistent. We're doing well to keep the ball in their half. I suppose that's about as much as we can say in terms of compliments, but again, no real shots are coming from it. Tierney tries to pump that one forward, doesn't really go anywhere of note, but again, McGregor's presence has felt brilliant interception. I'm loving that people are backing him more after the comments that he was making over the last few days about basically the ultimatum of what he's going to do if there isn't severe backing over the course of the summer. Nice to see it. That's a good little ball if it's in a Salov and keep it in play, but it's always that fuck's sake. Well, the camera angle fooled me. I thought it was a good ball there, I was wrong, but Falkirk's header isn't exactly particularly great either, so we win it back. Tierney's got it, but takes a bit of a slow touch, so it slows it down enough for Falkirk to engage a press of their own. Scales gets it back after a 1-2 for the midfield. Yang's there on an overlap. That's a good piece of movement for the South Korean. Let's see where he goes with it. He's got an overlap on the outside and it's going to be used. Ball in is decent. Maeda tries to get in front. It's a good block by, I think, Nielsen in the end there. Very solid, but at least we have what you would consider the first half chance of the game. Taking 12 minutes for it to come, and you can't really blame Maeda. He does everything right there, gets into the right area, gets the right type of touch, but good presence for the Falkirk centre back there. Good attack and good defence all round. More of the same in that, please. Maybe just hit the back of the net with the next one. Good little move for Celtic again. Tierney pops it in. It's a bit of a heavy touch from Yang, so he just softly lays it off. It's going to be popped over. The chase down will be there if he's on side anyway, but I think Hearn might have just been a slight bit off, and yep, that seems to be the case. Interesting. Fair enough. Falkirk try and take it quickly. They put themselves under a bit of pressure, but they play out of it calm enough. Ogata probably just try and switch that to Adams. I stand corrected. He tries to go long, and Roxton is immediately there on the press against Miller. Wins the header, but it's out for a Falkirk throw-in. Again, I can't complain about what we're seeing from Celtic's perspective too far. I mean, it would be nice if we could make a couple more chances, but we're keeping Falkirk very quiet on their end, so I don't mind that too much. Just no stupid shit, and we should realistically be fine, but again, we know how these games tend to unfold. Good little switch out from the back. If we could win the knock on, that'd be good. It's popped up and Forrest does a wee pirouette trying to figure out where the fuck it's going. Celtic won it back in the end. Again, good little movement, decent press from Falkirk, but Celtic play out of it calm enough. Trusty towards Scales. Baggio tries to engage in the press. I don't mind that for the Falkirk man, but he's overcommitted himself a little and it's allowed Young to get in there. That's not... Okay, come on, that looked like it was a fucking clear Celtic throw and Young's not too happy with it. Kind of points to the player himself as if to say, I think Falkirk got away with one just a wee bit there. I'm not going to argue with it too much, but definitely not the right call. Will pop up from the throw in. Celtic will engage in the press, and that's probably going to be a foul for the bundle on the back. And it is. Ralston's getting very physical early on, it's fair to say. Just make sure that's showing all the stuff that needs to be shown as on the stats thing. Yeah, it is. So the thing with performance mode, you can't see everything that you need to see. Nice little ball out from Falkirk there. Let's see what they do with that one. It's actually a really good overrun if they can get there, but Scales' presence is felt. It's what we're talking about. If Tierney bombs forward, Scales just kind of steps a bit more towards that left side to cover it. Worked out beautifully there, and Celtic are again going for a long switch. The chase down is going to be engaged. Forrest is there, but the ball's going to be awkward for him to take down. He's going to be immediately put under pressure. But the touch is not bad. The ball into the box isn't half bad either, but I think half-hearted is probably the way to describe it. Celtic have put them under significant pressure though. If bounces off, if Ralston comes off, if Falkirk boy, I think it should be a corner. Tate doesn't look too happy about it, but it did come back off and looked like it. A couple of sarcastic cheers for the Celtic fans as he appeals, but in the meantime, Negrin sets us up for it. The Super Suite has been very crucial for us at points this season. They've actually picked up a few goals from set pieces under O'Neill in recent months, so it would be interesting to see where this one goes. Got Scales, Trusty, a couple of extra physical bodies in there. That's not the worst ball in. The overlap and run for Trusty, you can see he was trying to get in to kind of flick it on, see if he could get it far post. Doesn't necessarily work out, so the chase is engaged towards the defence, back to Sinisalo from Ralston, who's acting as an intermediary centre-back. Scales probably just take a few extra touches and get that out, my guy. Yep. Do not want to be as close to the goal as possible. The less pressure on Sinisalo over the course of this match, the better. Not just for him, but for my heart rate as well. Oof. Decent attempted steal for Calvin Miller there. He didn't necessarily get away with it. Stu will engage on a slight press, but again, Celtic very calmly playing around it. It's not as if they're being put under significant pressure. It should be a foul on Forrest. There's a foul on Forrest. McCann's just got a bit too physical. Very similar to what Ralston's been doing over the course of the last 10 minutes, just getting in behind his man, showing him that he's there. No real complaints with Forrest, no card. I think it's honestly fair. Trusty pops into Negrin and it's calmly cut back across. Sweet gets out to Scales, and Scales in turn tries to fire up the line. Tierney very high up as well alongside Yank. It's a lovely turn and touch actually. This could be very good from us out towards the far side. Tierney cuts it back towards Yank. Slightly overhit pass again for the South Korean. Maybe just needs to work on the inside pass a bit more. It's allowed Falkirk to try and break out from the back, and they're trying to break out with a lot of purpose. What a fucking challenge that is. Ralston even gives it a wee celebration after he gets up. That's why I like Ralston, man. That is fucking peak. Things you love to see, man. Good stuff. Now we'll try to break forward and do something that could be very good. That could be very good. Run it. Shot for, I was going to say, maybe fucking go for the cross there. Oh man, that's bad for the Belgian, I have to say. Could have played that way a bit more pace and purpose than that. At the very fucking least, you could have tried for a switch. Obviously, instead try and punt it for range, essentially doesn't get anywhere really near the target. And 20 or 30 yards out, and yeah, the reverse angle does not make it look any better. Jesus Christ, that was bad. Just over pitched it at a belter. Let's see where this one's going to be switched up. Hogarth will see if they can get it towards the central area. It's actually one on the flick on, but out for a throw in from said flick on, so we get away with that. Ralston once again gets onto the throw in. Trusty switches it across for Scales, and again, right up that left hand side seems to be where we want to do a lot of our focused attacking at the very least. I haven't seen too many needed runs for Forrest, a couple of occasional quick crosses and passes, but otherwise he's not really been forced to do too much else, although Ralston's carried that run on. I don't mind that, it's good defending for Falkirk though. Allen comes across to cover for McKern there, gets in front of his man, puts the body in the line. Got to say, if there's one thing you can say for both teams, good defending so far. See, that's the common theme. Well, something's happened there. I looked away for a second, turned back, and Nikren's on the ground. I have no idea what happened. I'm presuming there's an off the ball incident. He does get barged. I mean, it's not as if he's dived or anything. There is clear contact, and oh, for fuck's sake. And now he's floating back in return. Alright, well, this is an interesting turn of events. What happened there? That's a wheel one for sure. Unless the ball's thrown in, he's bundled over there, and that'll probably be a foul. Maybe just stop with the aggressive, needless bullshit, boys. It's not necessary. You're just playing into Falkirk's strength. If they can slow down and frustrate the game, like I said, it's not too bad for them. If they can get to the 60th, 70th minute, they only grow more in confidence. Even if they haven't registered a single shot of note so far, doesn't mean that they won't have any chances between now and the end of this match. Although they really need to do better with their long balls out for the back man. Too many times it's just went straight out for a throw in. Ralston's immediately on the end of it, tries to send it forward to Tierney. To Yang. First touch is lacklustre. He does well to recover it, and then, oh, for fuck's sake, this is what I'm talking about. Silly fucking mistake for Yang there. Ball into the box for Falkirk. It's defended well enough, but they shoot the range. What a shot, what a save, Sinisalo. Case in point, we need to be switched on, because one or two fucking moments like that and Falkirk will pounce. Silly for Yang, there's nothing else to say. I don't know who the fuck he's trying to find there, but Falkirk immediately try and go forward. We do well to get the ball clear, but nobody tries to close down the run on for Spencer. Oof, and I tell you what, he catches it sweetly. It's a well timed shot. Equally well fucking timed save for Sinisalo. Had to get his entire frame out to get on the end of that. Best chance of the game's Falkirk's way, I have to say. Like I said, it's not Falkirk that are going to make their chances, we're going to fucking hand them it. It's another prime example of it. Falkirk are still in our box trying to force the issue. They try to pop it from range, takes a weird bounce off a Falkirk player who tries to actually take it as a touch and spin onto a shot, but it doesn't work out. Back to a fun time to come in, Schnepp, right as Falkirk are getting into their groove. Should be as big of a wake-up call for Celtic as necessary. They will engage on the press and hold off the same way Yang will kind of keep the pressure. Oh, it's a good interception. That's a little frustrating for Arn. I mean, he does well there. You can see why he's a bit annoyed. Nobody was there on the overlap. So Falkirk will just kind of slow this one down if they can, back towards the goalkeeper. They'll switch it out on the far side. They'll be under immediate pressure. Forrest gets his body in the way in front of Allen, but only does as much as get out for a throw-in. Very weird game so far. Celtic have pretty much controlled most of it in terms of possession and areas of control. You'd say Celtic have probably had a solid amount of it. But Falkirk over the last 5 minutes have started baring their teeth. Try to go along with that one, but Ralston's a very physical man. He's not going to allow that past him. Forrest gets it from the pass down. Let's see where the cutback is. It's not bad, but Okay, Negrin tries to overcook it. Does very well to get back though. Fair enough, that's solid. Tierney just cuts it back. Very, very calm. Going to maybe move a bit more purpose for fuck's sake, boys. Scales has to cut it back to Sinisalo in the end. He's now in a bit of an awkward position, and I think he's just sliced that, so Ralston's going to have to take an awkward touch. It does well to get it up and away, but it's just straight back into Falkirk possession. And for whatever reason, we've started slowing down very quickly this time. Either tries to put some pressure on O'Garth, he'll just pop that up and cause some... Oh, for fuck's sake, Trusty's misheaded that one. Boys, some consistency would be very nice here. We kind of need it right now. Instead, it's allowed Falkirk to overlap. They've got some space on the far side here. Ball into the box. Ain't half bad. Chances. Very decent. I think it took a nick off of a Celtic player on the way through. That, it just took an awkward bobble and Falkirk got... Well, let's see what happened in the replay. Was it a Celtic body that got in the way? Yeah, Trusty just kind of perfectly timed. Stuck out leg. It kind of makes amends, but he's the reason they got that attack in the first place. Not ideal. Let's see where this one's going to be swinging. It's a high lipper towards the back post. Not really dealt with by Celtic, but defended nonetheless out towards the far side. Falkirk opt to go with a high end swinger. We'll deal with that one. It's popped up and he's going to go for range again. You could tell as soon as he took that first touch. Fair enough. Was it that time? Was it Spencer or was it Tate? One of the two of them decided to just kind of take a touch off her chest, and as soon as it kind of bounced, you could tell he was going to go and swing for it. Thankfully, it was very similar to Arn's failure. It wasn't really anywhere near the goal. So they do well to get it up the line, but we really need to think about, like, if we're playing this long ball game, why the fuck did we start Maeda as a striker? Like, this would have been perfect for fucking Iniacho then. If you want a striker that can hold it up and do a little bit of inside dribbling, that would have been ideal. You would have Maeda's pace on the left and Yang's consistency on the right, because he's not playing as consistent as he could be. On that left hand side, it's definitely not his preferred position. Case in point, that ball is not ideal. The chase down's going to be engaged. Falkirk play it out from the back. Yang does intercept it, but it doesn't find anyone in particular. Bounces around, goes out from area. That's a decent little touch inside for Ralston. Go for range, big man. Off! That's not bad. There we go, signs of life. I think it was Ralston that just got on the end of it, just intercepts it, steps in, has a crack for range. It's not a bad effort. Similar to Spencer's not too long ago. Nice wee colour towards that far left of the goalkeeper, but the keeper gets down well and quickly and just pushes it away. Corner kick for Celtic though. Both teams having slight moments of pressure. That could be half decent. Trusty gets on the end of it, but it was always going to be popped and high. Which is right there, oh, fancy, no look, bars and push. I can feel that on my bones. Another corner comes in, let's see where this one goes. Actually a really good first touch from McGregor, but he's going to have to overrun it for the second. Yep. Tierney, deal with it. Nice, calm enough. I don't like that we're going backwards though. That's not ideal. Ralston's again been pushed very far across. We do not want to lose the ball here. And it's just forced all the way back to Sinisalo. Very silly. Big Irish Harry says, "Mon the hopes." Nice to see you, my guy. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying yourself. We're kind of... I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not suffering per se. But it's starting to play out a little how I feared. Although, to be fair, Maeda's just engaging the press against Hogarth. He's got decked on the way out, but he does well to get the clearance. So fair fucking play the goalkeeper there under pressure. That is a lovely touch. This is why I like Yang on the right hand side. This is where he does his best stuff. Negrin tries to dance forward. Not the worst ball. You can see he was trying to get the overlap and run of Arn there. Doesn't necessarily work out. Ralston tries to engage in the push down. Oh shit, that's awkward. Nice little dribbling there from Falkirk. Really good fucking touch inside actually. Out towards Tate. Ralston decides fuck it, I'm running back and I'm taking him out, and I'm pretty sure Tate will not be too pleased with that one. Definitely a slight collision there. It was a lovely ball forward for Muller originally, give him credit. No, he's definitely still getting up to speed a wee bit, Watchalong, that's fair to say. Again, this is a Celtic squad that is stretched quite thin in terms of first team options. Still good numbers of delayed injuries and players that we should have had back by now if we didn't rush them. But that's not how it's played out for us in the last month or so with Araujo and Johnston. Nice little steal there for Falkirk. They win it back calm enough. Let's see if they go forward with it. No, back towards McCann instead, and they'll switch it for a defensive press. Although Maeda's done really good to get on the end of that one. He might just go from range! Maeda puts it in! That is why! That's probably why O'Neill wanted him up front. He's just done the 6-7 celebration. That almost make... Oh god, that is... Oh, that's bad. I can't argue with it. But what a steal for Daizen Maeda. That is fucking brilliant for the Japanese man. Excellent stuff. Gets on the end of a brilliant press, and this is what he does so well. I mean, I don't know what the defender's doing there. He tries to be too clever. Adams tries to, like, take his time. You can't do that around Maeda. And I think he was expecting Ogarth to be at least the back in position. But when Maeda gets on the end of it, he's pretty much just inside of his box, and all Maeda really has to do is bend it low enough. And he does exactly that. Calm finish. Very calm finish. We've got ourselves a lead. It's worth defending. And as Virgil just said, get it fucking out. Oh, so clean actually. The reverse angle makes that look so much purer. And it's cut back and we're actually on the ball again. And there's another shot for range for Daizen. He wants his hat trick and he wants it now. Good to see it. Celtic have signs of life, man. Fucking excellent, man. We'll take it. We'll take it. This is alright. There was another fucking press for Maeda that won the ball back, man. He is just, like, if he was a defender, genuinely, if you put 5 inches on that lad, he'd be one of the best centre-backs when it comes to pressing. But thankfully God made him like 5'8", so they made him an attacker instead, and it's worked out brilliantly for us here. Although Falkirk have got into the box, that should have honestly been an equaliser. Lovely ball in, can't take anything away for the way they broke into space, but Jesus Christ, it was, that's one of those, like, time slows down as it kind of bends around. He's only the one that's my confidence levels. 3-1 for a reason, my guy. He seems to be the only one that's properly switched on at this point in time anyway. Evident by the fact that he keeps pressing. Maeda's been putting in some fierce performances over the last few games. He absolutely has. He's shown off his greatest aspect, which is the sheer aggression on the press. That's why he was so good under Postecoglou's system, because it was literally just about winning the ball back, and that's Maeda's bread and fucking butter. Under this kind of counter-attacking O'Neill system, he can only really do that from a striker's position, which is probably why O'Neill played him now. And it's worked out, although there is a player down. I totally missed what happened. I've seen there was a collision. I don't know if he took a solo and he's holding his arm. Doesn't seem too happy, but nothing really gets clarified in the replay. It was a pretty normal collision. Both of them took the same force, but I think Stuart's pissed off about something though. Oh, and that's a bad ball for McCann. Tries to send it forward on an overlap, doesn't work out. Sinisalo immediately puts it back into play for Skills. And Turn plays it back to Sinisalo. He might just play that out for the back. It's a nice little scythe pass actually. Ralston's touch is calm. Ever since he had that shot for range, it's like it's spot this team into life a little bit, and Falkirk are putting themselves under needless pressure again. They get it calmly back to Ogarth in the end. It's just kind of punted forward for Sinisalo, who just takes one little grab of the ball and immediately puts it back into play. Scales, that's a risky pass, but it worked out, so fair enough. I like it for Yang. At the very least, he forces a throw in from it, so not too bad. Like I said, the perfect scenario for me is if we got those 2 first half goals. It would do us a world of good in terms of confidence. On another 4-0 today. Your Australian team got one on trophy. They did it all fucking well in. I was love to see that further league. So Maeda's on the run again. Do it, son. Go on. This is excellent. I'm saying that even though he's like fucking 4 or 5 years older than me. That's a nice little ball in for Trusty though, Cam. Well taken by Negrin, and that is gorgeous for McGregor. The pass is just as clean. This is great counter-attacking football, but unfortunately Ralston is a right back, and sometimes his passing emulates exactly what a right back would have done there. Not the greatest piece of attacking awareness still. But the move beforehand was absolutely brilliant. It was the best team move of the game. If Ralston had just been a bit quicker with the passing behind. After stealing that and then rubbishing him, it's delightful to see Spurs fighting relegation. I think it's just karma for all this. Like, it's any time a manager has basically been like, hey, I've taken you to heights that are previously unthought, maybe back me now, not like lmao, no, fuck off. They did it with Pochettino. Right, he was getting them into like Champions League fucking finals and consistently top 7 in Europe, and that wasn't good enough. And Pochettino was like, hey man, maybe if you gave me like the right money in the right areas, that could work. Postecoglou did the same, even though he didn't do too great domestically in terms of the league position. In the first season he did alright, but like that obviously second season's what done him in. But a fucking Europa League trophy. He's like, maybe give me some money to actually spend on the players that we want rather than half-hearted investments. Oh, that's awkward. Oh Jesus Christ, I thought Hogarth would have claimed that cross. I just stayed silent, but we're still very much keeping the pressure alive. Well dealt with by Falkirk in the end. McCann's getting put under immediate pressure. Negrin's actually pretty much level with Maeda on the press there. Celtic are doing what they can. That's not a foul. That's a bit soft. Trusty doesn't seem too happy, but unless there was a shot pull, I didn't see it. Can't honestly say it was a foul. Oh yeah, no there was. Okay, fair enough. There was a shot pull. I take it back then. Didn't look like it in real time, but there was indeed. Stopped him from spinning off his man there, so yeah, foul's calm enough. Falkirk try to go forward with a nice ball out in his space. Miller tries to dance past his man. Ralston doesn't necessarily deal with it. The ball into the box is not particularly great, and there's a Celtic man that stayed down. He's slowly getting up to his feet. It's nice to see that, but he's kind of rubbing his eyes, so I think he just took a solo one in the face. Maeda engages on what he does best, the press. He actually does very well to keep it awkward, and McGregor's just going to be able to waltz onto that and open up some lanes. Here we go, Tierney, far side. Might just go for that classic shot from range that he loves to do, and he cuts inside for some reason. That is a bit of a surprise for a man that's left-footed. And McGregor engages on a press. That's brilliant. And oh, come on, the referee's been a bit fucking soft now. That's twice. There definitely wasn't a shot pull there, and they won the ball. Like, what the fuck's the issue with that? It's maybe just the force thing. The referee just maybe thinks it's a bit too aggressive, but again, he won the ball, bit of a soft one, and that's a bad time to slip. Jesus Christ, Scales does well to get his body in the way. And now that's a foul as well. Oh fuck's sake, the referee's starting his pish. Of course we score immediately. Everything's a foul for them. What the fuck do you mean? He goes down holding his stomach. I thought it was for the challenge onto the ankle. That would have made more sense, but he goes down holding his stomach. I think that's what Scales is explaining. He's like, I mean, I don't know, I'm presuming he maybe just landed weird. That happens sometimes, right, when you get like a dead leg or something, you fall pure fucking strange and tweak a part of your body that just doesn't make sense. Like you fall on your arse and you end up tweaking your shoulder type thing. Falkirk have it in a pretty dangerous area, but the ball in is not good at all. Jesus Christ. They'll try and engage to win it back. Celtic do well to keep the press in place. That's an awkward one. I'm pretty sure he's offside. Yeah, okay, the flag goes up. I was going to say it looked like he was offside in the original ball into the box, but I let it play on for a few seconds. Eventually the flag is raised and Celtic play it from the back quickly. That's a bit of an awkward one. Oh, okay. We grab at the face there for Nigran. I think it was trying to go around his shoulder there, but he catches Nigran in the face. No real arguments there. A few minutes until the end of this half. Well, I mean, it's about 5 minutes and then hours left of additional time. That is a pretty shit ball out for the back, but to be fair, the touch for Falkirk is pretty poor as well, and we can win that and run with it. Tierney does well to sell his man, actually sends him to the shops. Lovely. And there's another move. Forrest cuts it inside. Yeah, see, we've switched it. Yang's now on the right hand side permanently and Forrest is on the left, and it has opened up a few lanes for us, and this is where Yang does his best work. Wins the corner. I don't mind that at all. Solid stuff for the South Korean. I think that's what O'Neill prefers, just having Yang being a bit more direct and Forrest can cut in the same way that he always does on that other side anyway. Ball out across the area. We probably should have done a bit more with that, for fuck's sake, lads. Maybe there's still an idea of the ball in is lofted, but straight at a blue and white shot, unfortunately. We should win the ball back comfortably enough and be able to set up for another attack if we want to move it quickly, but instead we just go back to Sinisalo. Why the fuck would we? I'm confused. But we move nonetheless. Sent forward. Ooh. I think it was a Falkirk throw. Yeah, probably should we were getting to the end of the half. Do a little bit of a plug, but we'll wait for Falkirk to run out this attack at the very least, because it is in a pretty dangerous area. It's in the final third, although Celtic do very well to win that back and take some pressure off, but it's still dangerous from the Burns. Nice little move inside. That could be very good for them. Scales gets in front and does just enough. Only hold off until this corner comes in. Again, it's what Falkirk do very well. They've not really had too many moments of note in this match, but brief little bursts, say 2-3 minute stints where they look particularly threatening. So they've managed to pick up a lot of loose points this season in games where they would otherwise kind of drop them. Let's see where this one's going to be swung in. Celtic go for zonal marking here, and it works out in this occasion, although the header out isn't particularly great. Straight in the path of another Falkirk player. It's definitely going to be swung back in if they can get it to that position, which it seems to be the case. No, they caught it back, alright. I'll try and keep Celtic under a bit more pressure towards the end of this first half. I don't honestly blame them if they can get a late equaliser. It'd be best case scenario for them. Celtic have been the better team in the first half. I think it's hard to argue against that, but it's not to say Falkirk haven't had their moments. That shot for Spencer's probably the fucking absolute pick of the bunch, man. It was a great save for Sinisalo. But Maeda's press is the difference between us winning and losing so far. Switched into the box from Falkirk. I'm pretty sure he was offside, but I think he'd overran it anyway. Let's have a little look as it comes back into the box. Otherwise he just overlapped it. Let's see. Yeah, it would have been offside. Oh wait, no, it's another guy at the back. Would have been a bit closer. I think he would have actually just been onside. If that's the case, then we'd consider that a pretty big miss. Although it's nowhere near the target and he doesn't get close, so I suppose there is that. I don't know, if you're in chat what you're making of the first half so far. It's I wouldn't say it's a perfect performance for us so far, but there's a few positives and a few negatives, definitely. I mean, we're winning, that's a positive. Maeda doing Maeda things. That's another Maeda thing. He's just won the ball back in a great fucking area and it's been moved forward. Celtic should get a big chance for a second here. It's off the bar and into the back of the net, and that is a second. Lovely goal for Kieran Tierney. That is a brilliant team move again, and it starts with who else but Daizen Maeda on the press. Fucking swell. Stunning, spiffing stuff for the boys. That is exactly what we needed before the end of the first. And pretty much as I was hoping, as we were talking about how this game could potentially go, that second before the end of the first half has gone our way. Brilliantly fucking timed step in for Maeda to win that back, and immediately the bomb forward. Tierney does not fuck about. That is a class finish, actually. That is a world class finish. Maeda bags himself an assist, but what a strike for Tierney. On the reverse angle, he does not fuck around with that. That is intentional as hell. Picks his near post, hits it hard, hits it with purpose. Top of the bar, bounces down over the line. Kieran Tierney, baby. I fucking love this man. He was not fucking around there. No way was he not getting that on target at the very least, but it's always nicer when it clips the bottom of the bar and goes in. That is much better for you, lads. Much better. That is so much more convincing for you. Now just don't concede before the end of the half, and we're on to some very good stuff. That 3-1 prediction's looking very good, although I'd very much prefer if it just stayed 2-0, to be honest with you. A clean sheet would be nicer for us, and again, goal difference can factor into this. So getting that second before the end is massive, huge for us. Cannot complain about that standard at all. Two very well worked goals in their own ways. But a goal and an assist for Maeda makes him the easy pick for man of the match so far, 100%. Need him in Roxton to score about 7 of them in the summer, exactly. Getting his practice in the now, man. That's the way I'm looking at it. Falkirk are going to try and dance forward with this one. They do well enough to put... Oh my god, I thought Maeda engaged in the press. He almost did fucking win it, Christ above. He is determined to win every straight and loose ball. Gotta love it, man. Confirmation of additional time. I mean, we're 40 seconds, 50 seconds past the... Oh, Jesus Christ, that was bad facing a saddle. That's going to be a throw-in for them. Well, if Falkirk want something out of this half, they're basically going to have to go now. Otherwise, it's on the referee's time. And they do go fair range, in fairness. I can't fault the effort. He has been one of the few consistent players for Falkirk today, at least getting shots off, but... Camera face. O'Neill just came the cameraman a glass. He's like, right, I'm just getting some water, man. Fuck off. Ah, nice to see you, Lindsay. Hope you're well, lass. Hope you're well. Well, that's half time. Can't really argue with any stint of the performance so far. Very calm, very class. That goal right at the end of the half is always a great feeling. It's exactly what I was hoping that we would do right before the end of the half. I mean, go back to the start of the VOD for those that are here. Literally said it, if we can get 2 in the first half, that is best case scenario, because Falkirk are a team that tend to pick up their performance in the second half. So if Celtic can get a third in that opening 15 minutes stint of the second, then we can just kind of slowly let the game run out. Absolutely fantastic from us so far. In terms of chance creation, that's probably the main flaw. We've just not made too many chances. It's just been like 10-15 minute waits in between stints. But when we've had those little bursts, pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. Oh, that's very kind of you, lass. It's been a very strange week. We'll kind of touch on more of the Celtic related stuff, but in terms of personal things, pretty chill. I'm now on I mean, I've kind of touched on it before, but darts stuff mostly, which is pretty fun. I've been trying to get into that again. Nice to see you, Ryoken. Nice to, that's a fucking great name. Hello, mate. Hopefully we'll come out in the second half, like that 6 minutes in extra time against St Mirren. If we can do that, that'd be fucking class. Right, goal difference could factor in. I mean, let me actually just go into this and take a little gander at the table. Why does it do this every time? That's stupid as fuck. Okay. Fascinating. If it's see, that's dumb as fuck. Let me try that again. There you go. There's a little look as it stands. Celtic temporarily anyway, going to second. Again, we're a point better off than Rangers right now. Again, they play tomorrow alongside Hearts. Maeda working his balls after getting to that Japan World Cup squad. I think it's definitely fucking warranted, right? Like, I mean, they made him captain for the game against Scotland. Pretty decent result in that match. I don't think they'll complain about it too much, right? A 1-0 win against that very sturdy team defensively like Scotland's always a decent result, right? Can't really argue with that. Again, domestically, he's not been bad. Right? We touched on it kind of in the middle of the half if you were kind of watching along, Ryukin, but we were kind of saying that's why Maeda has been less comparable in the last 2-3 seasons, because when he was under Ange, his pressing game was literally why people loved Maeda. He wasn't really known for scoring goals. The reason people liked him is because he could win the ball anywhere and just get it into space, and he's done exactly that today. It's like watching the old Maeda, essentially. Like, it's not that I'm going to try and be fancy, I'm going to try and like fucking dink the ball in or play a fancy pass. It's essentially, I'm going to break this man's ankles in sheer speed and speed alone, and if you get in my way, good luck, you ain't catching me. And he just does what he needs to do. But he's like a wee tank, you know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like a wee Mini Cooper if you think about it. He's just, small, sturdy and efficient. Does what he needs to do, and you can't really fault it, man. A goal and an assist. I mean, Tierney scoring as well. It's just a very old school type of performance, right? You could go back to 2-3 years and this would very much fit in with that style of play. But I think the big thing for us going into the second half is actually just making more chances, right? Because again, goal difference could factor into it, right? We're doing relatively okay. Technically, we're now the second most effective team up front, but Rangers are in a much better position. We'll see some minutes for the Canadian destroyer. I'd like to hope so. At least by the end of the season, we'd get maybe like a game or two fully fit from him. If he's there, like fully fit for the cup final, that'd be ideal. I'd love to see him get into that Canadian national team for the World Cup. I was just watching that back. I was seeing the reverse chance, that shot on the edge of the box for Spencer, that fucking great save for Sinisalo. Let me just do. It does that every time, and then I do this, and then like I'll do that, and then all of a sudden it's fine. That is so dumb. But if we look at bench options, here's who we're going with. I would like to think maybe, depending, if we score a third, I'd imagine we'd probably bring Johnston, McCowan and probably Dane on, right, just to give Scales some rest in minutes. That could always be decent, but most likely if things just kind of stay as you would expect, you would imagine you would see minutes for Tenecte, probably Chamberlain, probably Rio as well, to be honest. I think it would actually be a double change in midfield. You'd probably just get a straight switch, right, Oxlade and Rio, or maybe Oxlade and McCowan. It might actually be McCowan just because of the new contract, actually. That would make sense to me. I'd love to hope that we get to see at least 10 or 15 minutes for Johnston, but I think that would just depend on how tired Ralston is. And to be fair, Big Man is running like a very smooth truck right now. Pretty much is just like a Ford F-150, right? Big blocky, but very efficient. Osman looks like a unit now. We give Triple H a run for his money. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure fucking. I mean, if you put him back in those days, there'd be a lot of steroids involved, to be honest. But I mean, if he's that just up, fair enough. I've seen pictures of him in and out of training. He does look a lot healthier. That's one thing I will say. It looks like he's finding his form again, which is nice. And hopefully, we can get some extra minutes out of him towards the end of maybe not to the end of the season. Chances are, at least with the games that we've got left, I'd be very surprised if we actually see any, if at all, very few minutes from him. But it's nice to know that we have a younger option, because all the other strikers right now are kind of not necessarily old, but they're latter stage of the 20s, right? So having someone that's in the younger stint is always good to see. And again, it's someone that isn't on fucking loan, so any type of development is decent. I've just got a third year on the vodka. A toast to the Celtic comrade. There you go. Fucking hell yeah, man. Thinks you'll love to see if a fuck all scored on the Iron Brew. That's more like it, my man. That's more like it. That's exactly what I thought. That's like my fucking drink of choice. It's the saying, isn't it, man? Iron Brew gets you through. I'll be your mix. Oh, Christ. Well, vodka and coke, aye, that makes sense, but... Right, we'll just go back to start, so we'll do... Oh, didn't do the air all time this time. Aye, they're back in form. I mean, yeah, I would doubt. It's not that he's been out of form, it's just that he's been very inconsistent where his form's shown up. Like, over the course of the season, right, you would say, like, first 2 or 3 months, pretty much standard Maeda, then he had that stupidly weird bad stint between, like, November. I kind of came alive over the last few months. It's just really inconsistent for him. But this is the Maeda that we know and love, and he's been very, very good for us, especially in games where otherwise probably wouldn't have gone too well. I mean, Maeda's pressing is quite literally the reason that we're winning this game by the distance that we are, right? Like, if it wasn't for his pressing, he wouldn't have scored, and more importantly, he wouldn't have been able to get on the end of that challenge that led to Tierney's second. We've got a third goal on bench pressing the Fruits. Sheer adrenaline, my guy. Vodka and Iron Brew is fucking elite. It's not a combo I've ever heard of, man. I've heard of vodka and coke, right? That's like the common one, but vodka and Iron Brew is just... I don't know. I don't drink alcohol, right? So it's like a palate thing for me. I'm like, the vodka's very, like... And Iron Brew is very, like, you know... I don't know, maybe. I say that, but I mean, people put out, like, Iron Brew and, like, ice cream floats and stuff. I used to do that when I was a kid, and those were always fucking class. So I suppose, right? I suppose it's like I can't knock it until you've tried it type thing. So I'll keep my mouth shut in the meantime, then. Face like Sharon Osbourne, fair enough. You're putting screen wash in the motor. Oof. Jesus Christ, getting wily with it. Probably a pro tip. If you don't drink alcohol, don't drink alcohol. I suppose that'd be the better way to do it. Let's see if they're talking about potential changes for the second half. For those that are on Paramount anyway. Just showing some of the game highlights back. Yeah, that save for Sanasalo was genuinely insane. It's the fact that it bounces up right before it gets to him as well. Mon boys, nice to see you, Paradise, my guy. Fucking mon the boys indeed. It's been very... I mean, for the first half an hour it was like, god damn, this is awful, I want to perish, and then like the last 15 minutes it was like, oh... Well, they fucking woke up. Excellent. Hey, let's go, boys. Good for yous. Good for yous, man. I'd say, I mean, some of them haven't woken up. A few of them are still very much half asleep. But Maeda has decided to get his early walk in, his cold shower, get himself energised, ready to go. The vodka will ease the pain of your throat. Oh, Christ. But I mean, that's because it would like numb every other sense. I can't feel myself bleeding out, comrade. It's like, that's because your blood is 94% vodka. Oh, what the To be fair, that's how the Finns and the Icelandics get through it, isn't it, man? Gigantic cut, no problem at all. Some vodka in the system, you'll be fine. It's just showing the half-time stats. It's been a bit more even than I even thought, to be honest. It's kind of surprising. Are they the same stats? I guess live score's fucked up a little bit, because apparently we've had 2 more shots on this than we have on here. Although I presume that doesn't include like block shots, which we should. Ah, right, okay, yeah, it doesn't include block shots. We're fine then. They got the stats right. Do I know what it's like? I'd imagine what it's like for a parent that like has a toddler and they have that thing that they do where they like get obsessed over like a cartoon or a movie, and they're subjected to that very obsession for like 6 months straight. You know, it's like you're like you kind of get used to it after a while, but goddamn, every time you hear like the theme song, or in this case you just hear fucking like VOD review or fucking my head is at the post or something like that, you're just kind of like you sink into your seat like, can we get something better on, please? There's better shows to watch. I thought your omnibus of Corey is more enjoyable. At times this season, fucking absolutely. Potential talks in McCowan coming on. That could be an interesting early change. Loving the fact that board has finally got the right fucking fans banned for Paradise. Yeah, definitely I mean, the tifo the day for the Green Brigade, if you didn't see it, was an absolute belter, man. Absolutely stunning tifo. Did incredible work in that sense. And it's nice to see that the board actually, you know, having a bit of backbone when it comes to that, where it's like, look, the only stipulation that we put in place to allow them to have full allocation was that they banned the balaclava bastards. I seen the comments, all the people in like the Celtic statement on one of the forum things. I don't know if it was Facebook or if it was Instagram. But in the comments, it was basically just no Spider-Man allowed at Celtic Park. Basically, people are just like, get the fuckers out. Which, yeah, like if you're just inviting the fans in, if you're just, you know, the ones that support the club and just want to support their team, valid. But the ones that are going to cause trouble and go solely to cause trouble, or kick the toilets in if they lose, or get pissy every time something goes against them, then yeah, I feel like Celtic's request is pretty reasonable. But Rangers aren't going to bite, because why the fuck would they? Right, that would be them just admitting defeat and going, oh no, our fans were the problem that day. So of course they're going to be like, nah, we don't want to go up with it. It's fine. We don't really care, but it just ruins it for neutrals. Christ above, man, that is a belter. The Union Bells want to run around and give massive sure Lenov doesn't live too far. I fucking hate that I've been forced to know who that is, just because of the amount of fucking times I've seen that name come up. Especially, when was it? Was it during like COVID? That motherfucker kept blowing up. I hate that that's a thing now, that every club has like a, what do you call, like a mod. Did you see that fucking thing that happened in like South America with one of those clubs for Chile? It was like an OnlyFans type model that was like, basically like, I'm not going to post anymore until the manager gets sacked, and the club genuinely considered it. Fucking insane. Second half's about to get underway. The boys are heading out the tunnel. We'll see if there's any confirmed changes, but as of now it doesn't look like it. Seems pretty much unchanged. Don't think there's any changes for Falkirk either. Nothing that's been reported as of now. I don't think there was too much wrong with it. I just shortened the down in mid-dread, I believe, right? Right, come on boys. Just some decent pressing out the game. Oh, fucking hell, Maeda's already on the end of this ball. 30 seconds in, he's already won a press. Ah, that's the Maeda. There we go. We've just seen both versions of Maeda in that 5-second clip. Wins the ball back on the press, turns around, and then passes it straight out of play. My goat. Christ above. Even his reaction, he can't help but be like, oh, you just kind of let the shoulders drop a bit. Fuck's sake, man. Falkirk are going to send this one forward, and actually there's a lot of people grouped. Fucking hell, why is also grouped? So it bounced out. Falkirk are going to get on the end of this for a cross. It's fired in. Celtic do well to clear it, but still in a dangerous area. They let it leave for a throw in, but quickly taken. Well, quickly taken now, I should say. Passes back, and eventually, there we go, goes for that long switch. One originally by Tierney, but he's taking a bit of assault in there. He kind of put his arms up in the air for a half second, but he's on his feet. Wish we still had the little Mexican Supreme at right back. To be fair, Araujo was balling for us, man. He just had that classic grip. That's a corner for us. It's a corner for Celtic. We'll take that early on. Whoever scores this next goal takes control of this game. I actually couldn't put it better myself. The Falkirk score, they'll feel like they've got the edge to be able to get something out of this. They'll take the kind of book out, or they'll leaf out of St Mirren's book, I should say, and if they get a goal before the 60th minute, they know, look, that gives us enough time to grab something late. That's why I can have my predictions at 3-1. It's played out exactly how I thought so far. My current run of fucking predictions are spot on. If we get a goal before the 60th, then it's pretty much game over. But it has not been a comfortable 2-0. I suppose that's probably the best way to say it right now. He's way back to Bournemouth now, isn't he? Yeah, his season's pretty much running, unless we want to buy him. Which I'd be tempted to, as long as the wage is reasonable. I do not think it would be a bad signing. I think it would be a very sensible one. The guy clearly did love playing for Celtic, man. The celebrations they had. You could tell he fucked with the club, and we fucked with him. He's a proper good, old-fashioned, passionate type of player, and we appreciate that at Celtic. And I think he appreciated us in turn. Plus, he loves playing in green and white, man. It's like, that just seems to be his thing. And he'd be very good competition alongside Johnston and Ralston. That'd be a very good stacked right hand side. Wouldn't really need to worry about making upgrades there. On the left hand side you would have Sriracha, and well, I mean, if we decide to keep Sriracha, I don't think we would with him. But you know, who knows, maybe we go for Robertson on that free, right? It's potentially good. But Tierney is fighting for that first team spot, and he's earned it well and truly, man, because he has been pretty decent. His uptick in performance has been noticeable in the last kind of 4 or 5 months as well. Ever since he got his first goal, he's basically kicked on pretty much as if he never left. Kept the injuries at a limit. And Martin O'Neill's managed them very, very well. Understands he's not going to be able to do 90 minutes every single goddamn match, but whenever he can, gives him a bulk of the match, and that faith is repaid more often than not. Beautiful goal today. Right at the end of the first half, when we probably would have needed it the most. That's a good little break forward. Ralston will just step in on it. Get him enough. Who do we think Maeda would go to? You're thinking Man United or Spurs? If Spurs got relegated to the Championship, I would genuinely see that being a potential move, because they wouldn't be able to bring in the big names, obviously, to the Championship, so someone like a Maeda would actually make sense. Not at a Man United, though. Man United would just be like, fuck that, we're going to spend like 50 million on some 22-year-old kid for like the Eredivisie or something, or for like the Portuguese league. They can take those bigger risks. We would demand around 50, 20. Yeah, honestly, if it's about 15 to 20k, that's a very good deal for a solid, brilliant, you know, right back that has first team potential. It would probably be second in behind Johnston, depending on how Johnston kind of heals over the summer, right? If he has a good World Cup anyway, that would probably be another way to look at it. So it'll be damn interesting to see how that plays out. I'd love to see if we go for him. That's the first thing though, is if we decide to keep him. But I think the Bold would be missing out on a very solid player, at least in terms of the passion the guy's got, because he has got some ability to back it. I do apologise, we're not doing too much in terms of commentary here, but it has been very side to side. Celtic haven't done too much in terms of pressing out, and Falkirk are quite happy to camp themselves in. I think they'll realise goal difference isn't exactly ideal for them either if they're on the chase for any improvement in positioning. But Celtic know if we can get an extra one, that's why I'm hoping we get that third. It's pretty decent for goal difference, especially if Rangers decide to trip up tomorrow. That's a good bit of physicality. Fucking solid skills, big man. Young does well to kind of break into the ball. Well, I was going to say he's about to do well. Then he made the mistake of giving it away. Spurs are rotten, they've only just beaten Wolves earlier. Yeah, I was watching them alongside while I was making the thumbnail for the game there. I was keeping my tab on that in the West Ham and Everton game, and West Ham pulled out the massive shithousery of a 92nd minute winner, man. Callum Wilson, another boy that we've actually been linked with in the past. Surprise, surprise. Made at Forest, now that's a good shout, or Coventry. Coventry does make sense actually, yeah. My newly promoted side actually do have 1 or 2 Asian players on rotation already, I believe, right? There is actually a good Asian persuasion down in the Championship, actually. There's a good number of them. Even some of our former boys, right? Kyogo and Awata. And they're both at Birmingham now, if I remember correctly. That's a good little break forward, if we can get it moving. That's not a foul, referee. Oh, come on, that's bullshit. What happened there, man? Like, did he get? Was it an actual collision of heads? Did he take a knock? Oh, he did that, right? Okay, I'll shut the fuck up. He did take a knock. I thought he just flopped in real time, but nah, it's a wee jab with the elbow, nothing too severe. Definitely wasn't intentional, my head. It was just kind of standing himself up. I don't even think he was aware that Spencer was running in behind them. So drop ball it is. Plus, yeah, there was a shot pull anyway, so either way that ball will be Celtic's. Drop ball is engaged and we'll send it forward. Falkirk will probably deal with that after 1 or 2 touches depending on their confidence levels. That's going to be played back. Maeda's on the press again. Oh god damn, please. Oh, that's awkward. Hoggoff just about survives it, but Celtic are still pressing. Could have been awkward. It's gone out for a quick corner, and I think Allen's wanting to take it as fast as possible. He's already got to the byline and swung it in early. But it's kind of a high risk, high reward thing, because even though Falkirk didn't have time to set themselves, it didn't really give Celtic time to set themselves either, so it's going to be sent forward. Falkirk are trying to play a long ball out to the back. That was always going to be a risky pass, and even then it was over it to fucking straight at Sinisalo. Aye, that's a bit more accurate, honestly, Virgil. Like a newly promoted, like say Middlesbrough get promoted, he'd be perfect for them. That's a good pass into space. Go on, Yang, drill at him. Run at him, Morty's son. Played into space. Nice little running move there. Negrin just shifts it for McGregor. Arms first touch isn't too great. Tierney's is calm. Good movement. Forrest. Oh, that's Forrest. Excuse me. Thought it was on. Ball into the space is half decent. Oh, Ralston getting on the edge of it to win a fucking foul. I love this, man. We're talking about players that have just picked up form in recent times. Ralston is just balling for no fucking reason. He was excellent against St Mirren. Look at him there, man, like a gazelle. Look at running to be shot. Jump in front of his best friend to save him from a bullet or something, man. That was dramatic as fuck, but he won us a really good foul in a really good position. A decent in-swinger from on here, or I mean, if you want to be fancy with it, you could honestly put someone left-footed and go for like a curler inside, get a little flick on, and who knows. Gibbs White would probably go to Spurs if they get relegated, actually. I think that would be a really good move for them. Let's see where this one's going to go in. Seems like we're going to stick with a Belgian on this one, so it's going to be a kind of low in swing up, and it is. Doesn't necessarily work out, but Ralston once again wins the ball back. This man. It's just a thing, if you're a Celtic player and you're out of form, just change the hairstyle ever so slightly. Ralston grows his out a bit more and all of a sudden he turns into like 3 times the player. Oh, that's an outstretched leg, that's silly fair, and that's going to be a foul. No arguments here. Cool, but do you think the first time he heard the Birmingham accent he was just confused? Right, imagine, like, he had the worst timings. Like, imagine going to the UK and you end up in Glasgow and Birmingham as your 2 main cities. You have to sit there and deal with an accent like this the first time round, and then you move down to fucking Birmingham and you just hear this all the time. It's just... Oh, there's another move forward actually. Celtic are in a great area. Forrest gets a ball, that's fucking bad, man. Forrest, why? I want to really back you and, like, say, hell yeah, man, what a play, but what the fuck was that? He just slices it. There's no other way. His reaction's pretty straightforward. No arguments with that, I suppose, but should have done a wee bit better there, big man. But the theatrics, just the fucking sheer elegance of the way he's got in. Oh my god, we're in behind. Surely. Surely. Surely! Yes, although I might be offset, I'm not going to celebrate just in case. Ah, fuck off. That's exactly why. Fucking damn it. I didn't know if it was. Yeah, it's going to be close. Oh, it's going to be really fucking close, but I think he's off. I mean, Young does well to get on the end of it. It's a good save for Hogarth. It pops up and then Young just kind of knocks the header in. We need to kind of hold up just in case. But I think it's quite obviously off. It looked like it in real time and the replay kind of clarified it, you know. Young loves scoring when it's offside. I can confirm that it is not 3-0. And it seems Tenecti's getting warmed up to come off the bench. That's a good ball forward. Maeda's going to have to put some burners on, but he's got space and plenty of it. This is where he does good work, although the ball in is horrible. Pace and pressing 100, passing not so much. Good little shift and switch there, back towards space. Arn moves it quickly. Scales across to Trusty. Falkirk are all of a sudden trying to press with a bit more pace and purpose, but Celtic are just playing as smooth as they've ever done. Much better for Celtic in the second half in terms of ball retention. A little disheartening that we had a disallowed goal, but it was offside and fairly so. But it'll give Yang the incentive to know that he's got the ability to press in behind. Brendan Johnston must be so glad he's not playing at Spurs anymore. I think there's a few players. Son picked his fucking timing to exit perfectly. That's an awkward ball into the box if we can get on it. Yang does win the knockdown, but nobody's really going to be there on the inside run. Falkirk once again will just clear the lines, but only as far as Ralston. I'd say between him and Maeda it's toss up for man of the match pick today. Absolutely brilliant. Can't say the big man's done too many things wrong. Forrest just about keeps that in play, man. Fuck's sake, cutting it close there, big man. Played into space, nice little touch. Lovely second touch, actually. Jesus Christ. Not bad at all for Arn there, but it's out for a corner kick off through the back end of, I think it was their skipper, actually. Falkirk are kind of stretching themselves thin. Especially in areas where they're not necessarily comfortable, and that's probably what's tripping them up here. Walker goes from a treble win with City to relegated with Burnley. The highs and lows of football. It's a peak fucking sport, isn't it? It's an awkward ball in. Still awkward, actually. Still awkward. Get a shot away. Still awkward. Come on, boys. It's still awkward, and eventually Falkirk can't get away. Fucking hell, man. I feel like there could have been a shot off at any point in time there, but unfortunately not. You know, it's like we're going to have that change, and it's a sensible one. Forrest will be leaving the pitch. It's not been a bad shift for the big man, but he's just not really contributed as much as he probably would tell you himself that he would have liked to have brought to this game. So tonight he's going to come on, and it's the right idea. Gets a bit more pace down that side. Your mate's brother is a Spurs fan, and just by watching he's aged like a Commodore 60. Fucking hell, man. Aged like mouldy cheese. But then again, when you have as much money as Tottenham have, being anywhere near the relegation zone is fucking bad. It just shows you money can't win everything. That's why Hearts are top of the table right now. Alright, nice little cut back actually. Calm. Ralston puts on the, oh, that's a nice wee cross actually. It's in a great area. Negrin tries to go for a kind of lounging header late on, but takes a bounce out. The half volley attempt is blocked there. It's going to be swung back in by Tierney. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes, and Yang was on the run for that. He was maybe 2-3 inches taller. He would have got the tough of his hair at the very least, but I think it would have been a bit of an ask anywhere else. It was a great ball in for Tierney, but it was just kind of lofted. Celtic have won the ball back in a good area. Never mind, it's a foul. Okay. Literally all four Celtic players just stopped and turned to the referee with their arms in the air as if to be like, oh, are you sure? Was it a foul? I don't want to speak until... No, they won the ball and didn't actually really touch the guy. And he goes down holding the wrong leg. Okay, well that's just... fair enough. Alan buys the foul, I suppose it's the nicest way we'll say that. Falkirk will get the ball rolling again. 62 minutes have been and gone. I'll say that's actually more or less 63 now. That is 63 past that. Ross and Wilson have introduced themselves to the field. I forgot to mention that, by the way. Brojo and Yeats came off about 30 or 40 seconds ago. Get Kelechi on soon, I'd say. 100%. We're going to need to look at maybe some calmer midfield options as well, just because there's a couple of tired legs. Maybe get Arnold for, I'd say Rio. Actually does make sense. If we're going for passes in behind, we can use him and Maeda effectively enough, but I feel like Maeda's put in a decent enough shift to earn the rest, unless we want to obviously take Yang off and push Maeda out to the right and go for Kelechi down the middle. Trusty's... That's a yellow card. I'm so... What the fuck? I mean, I've seen some pretty weird yellows. I mean, it doesn't really make contact with Wilson, but maybe cynical intent, I'm guessing. I guess we're at that point in the game where it could technically count as that. It wasn't in a dangerous area, but free kick nonetheless for Falkirk to do some damage. Celtic set piece control has been pretty decent so far, so more of the same here would be quite ideal. It's whipped in with a bit of pace and purpose, and the flick on isn't half bad, to be honest, but thankfully, like a lot of the chances that Falkirk have had in recent times, it's just not been threatening enough to cause too many problems. Celtic try to win it by. That's a good step in for Tenecte. The ball just doesn't bounce his way. That's slightly unfortunate. Tierney does well to get his leg in front of Wilson there to block that one out for a throw in on the far side. Seems that Celtic have just dropped back about 3 or 4 extra yards just to kind of cover any loose space for runs in behind. I think part of them is aware that goal difference could be crucial 100%, but they don't want to allow Falkirk back into the game. 2-0 is just as dangerous as a 1-0. We know this from quite literally our last match. ball back out towards the far side for Falkirk to cut it in, trying to find any open lanes they can, but they're stretched for options, so it's just kind of half tossed in with the hope there would have been a run from anybody there, but no one was wanting to really compromise in behind. You feel like if another 10-15 minutes gets ticked off from this, we'll feel a little bit more comfortable about the 3 points, but until then it's going to be a bit of a stretch and a slog. It's a decent ball in from Falkirk. That could have been a case in point fucking situation right there. I think it was Stewart that got on the end of it from Wilson's ball in, and he just didn't get on the end of the header correctly. I mean, it would have been a hard one to try and flick on. He would have had to have redirected it using the power of the cross rather than try to put the neck muscles behind it. I think that's probably his fault there. But Wilson's been on the pitch for about 3 minutes and has already had 2 very promising breaks into the box. Maybe consider getting Sriracha suited and put him on to kind of just keep him defensively occupied here, and his legs are maybe just slowing him down a bit now. We deserve a summer break after the season we had. These players have definitely earned their summer vacation 100% if they manage to get the title anyway. Because a few of these boys will need to be working overtime between now and the end of the season, and just hope a few other results go our way to make it favourable. Ball into the box for Falkirk could be dangerous. It can still be gathered. Try to get it to pop around, but McGregor's there to intercept. Good stuff, big man. Really calm performance for him today as well. Not so ideal from Yang though. Gives the ball away and it's going to allow them to overlap for a quick cross, although that one is overhit to fuck. Tierney will be able to just kind of chase that one down with as much time as he wants, and he just punts it away in the end. It's not the worst ball forward actually. If there was a central striker there, but my head had kind of grafted left just to cover the space. Ball and behind is actually really good again towards Wilson, and if they play it safe and cut it back, the whip cross is half dangerous at best. Skills deals with that first ball in, and Negrin's kind of touchdown header is calm as fuck. Lovely stuff from him. He does well to keep himself balanced and just kind of flops over and gets the foul there. Did kind of cut off his run, so it's fair enough. Aye, definitely some fatigue changes that need to be kind of concerned now. I'd say get Rio on for on just because he looks a wee bit leggy. Probably would make sense to get Sriracha on for Tierney, and maybe if you want to go for a unique one, probably McCowan for Ralston, right? Because he's played all over the park. If you want to get him on the pitch for a contract celebration type thing, that would probably be the time. Give or take about 20 minutes left to see out. I think what made a lot of us fall in love with Araujo is that, like, specifically that Kelly celebration. It really fucking, it was funny as hell. Oh shit, that is a really good break forward chance for Falkirk. Actually, hold the fuck up. They've got a lot of runners and nobody. Oh no. Wilson's got on his space there. Goes for a shot. Oh my fucking god, it's a belter. Case in point, man. We really did not want that to happen, and it has happened. Too many of the boys commit themselves forward, and one really decent ball out from the back, and they can get on the end of it and do damage, and Wilson does exactly that. You can't fault the finish. It's a lovely strike, but fuck me, that was very simplistic. Just overcommitting too many bodies in the midfield. I mean, that's just a silly step in for Alston. Probably the first mistake he's made the whole game, and it's led to a goal, let's be honest. It's opened up space. Wilson's timed his run well enough. Does well to take it down, and this is what I was talking about with Tierney's tired ass legs. He wasn't going to be able to track Wilson back in time, and that allows him to get the strike across. Get Sriracha on, get Ralston off as well. Like, we just talked about this. The chat just talked about it, and we've proven our point. It's a lovely strike, can't take anything away from it, but fucking hell, it's too easy. And it's starting to feel a bit more like that St Mirren game again. O'Neill just not making the right changes, maybe needs to consider it. What a fucking... Yeah, you can't even be annoyed, you're spot on, Virtual. The finish is absolutely world class. You can say that about every goal today. Every goal has had some very good quality to it. It's just really unfortunate, man, that it had to happen like that. It's so fucking frustrating, but there we go, case in point. Wilson said it when he came on, he looked more dangerous than the wingers that were previously on. And he's shown exactly that, but he's also just been booked for a yellow card there. So, as we were just discussing, we cannot give a shit about goal difference right now. The priority is just getting 3 points. No silly shit for here, because if we fuck it with an equaliser in Falkirk's part here, then it is a major dagger to our season. And Falkirk have that little bit of momentum. But I manifested a 3-1 prediction before, I can do it again. Ralston's also going into the book, I'm presuming that was for an advantage or something. Oh yeah, actually I forgot for the advantage on the build up to their goal. Well, it looks like we will be making changes, and it's a good one to see, because it's Alistair Johnston. We will get to see our Canadian maestro back on, as well as Sriracha. The full-backs are off. So Tierney and Ralston, give them their credit. Tierney deserves a round of applause for his goal. Ralston has had a very good shift, but that mistake really just soured a potential 10 out of 10 performance and put it right down to a 6. But Johnston is back, nice to see him. Looks fit and healthy, hopefully it stays that way for the next 20 minutes or so. As well as that, we've got Iniacho being a late additional change, so it looks like O'Neill has listened and he has got the right bodies on. So Ralston, Sriracha and Yang are off, Iniacho, Tierney and Johnston are on. So there's what I thought. They'll push Maeda out, probably to the left hand side, Tenecti on to the left, and Iniacho will go through the middle. But they are needed changes just to get the physicality back, and Johnston's first touch on the ball is to get it back comfortably to Sinasalu, who in turn sends it as far up the pitch as he can, and Iniacho tries to win the knock on, stays with it just in case. Brilliant. I think that if there's any league in this world that does not have the right to complain about letting them ref, when we did that they would get like all of their decisions wrong. Maybe be a professional fucking referee association before you start demanding things. I get that they're getting hounded a lot, but again, you don't get hounded if you do your job right. That's why I love old like war sayings, like old sniper sayings. It's like, well, if you've never heard of me, then I've done my job perfectly. Celtic are doing well. That's fucking great hustling from us. Well, the goal hasn't taken the wind out of our sails at the very least. We're still trying to press with purpose. Although, again, Tenecti being forced to play in a position that he's not necessarily comfortable in is going to cause some issues. Mid-time is starting to kind of creep upon us now. 1-goal leads are always fucking awkward, man. I never like them. See where this one's going to be sent by Hogarth. Eventually we've got everything back into place and up and forward. Oh shit, that's a good touchdown. Actually played forward and thankfully very badly overhit from them. To be fair, you probably could make a good amount of like food related names out of the team, right? You got like Cinna Salad, Iniacho. That's sleazy, right? Iniacho. Please do not make a fucking weird touch here, Johnston. Jesus Christ. He did the right thing in the end, but the first one was a wee bit oof. That's a good little pop-up actually. Let's see. That's foul. Ref. No, never mind. Doesn't matter because the ball's played over the top anyway, and Sinisaldo's on the end of it first. Sriracha is bombing down that side. Fucking hell. Go on! Oh, Sriracha, that is superb, big man. There's a good fucking run going now. Down that far side. Let's see where it goes. All of a sudden, Celtic have just swept the counter-attack right up into Falkirk's end, and it's 6s and 7s at the back for them now. Ball into the box is half decent. Oh, the backheel pass is clean as fuck. Whipped across, still dangerous, not really dealt with, but Celtic still have it in the final third. That's it. Oof, that's an awkward one actually. I was going to say there might be a card coming out here. The yellow card as came out for Tate. Don't think it's intentional, but definitely catches him, I think, with the studs as well, which is probably why it's a card. Yeah, studs up, that's why. He's thankful that, I mean, you're lucky that you didn't make clean contact, otherwise it would have been a straight fucking red. We're in a very promising area here. It's not in range, I'd say, for Negrin to actually just have a go from there. Not unless he's really confident in getting the power. But it's give or take about 30 odd yards out. Also, we're going to have some changes here. Obviously, Chamberlain's going to be coming on for McGregor. Let's see where this one goes. It's in a good area, to be fair. But it's just a case of where we decide to go with it. I don't think Negrin would go for range here. Surely he might just lay it off on the far side for a quick cross because he's fully on his own there. But he does go for range. I do not fault it. I said if he was, he's going to need to put some power behind it. There was power behind it. Good stop for Hogarth. Falkirk keeper's made a couple of handful of decent saves now. You can say that he's contributed his fair amount to this game. Corner kick for us in a good area again. Let's see where this one is. It's going to be high and whipped. Or never fucking mind. It should have been high and whipped, but just did not get the contact on the cross right. Let's see. Sent up and away. It's actually a really good ball if Maeda can get control over it. Lets it bounce, which is going to allow it maybe close down a bit. Does well enough to get it back, I don't mind that at all. Nice little switch back into space for Scales. Trusty will just take one touch and move that on, no real bother at all. Johnston. Nice to see him back, and it's what a pass out towards to Necte, and it's a sailing cross. And I respect that for Hogarth. He didn't want to risk trying to catch it in case he spun it out. And he actually would have been right there, so he just kind of pops it over the bar. Doesn't take too many risks with it. It's a strange one because despite playing better as a team in the second half, Falkirk have actually had the better second half in terms of goals. They didn't play particularly great in the first, but came away with 2 towards the end of the half. There's another decent ball, and that's a great stop for Hogarth. Again, overhead kick attempt is over from, well, not over, but beside the side netting for Maeda. It was a lovely original header. How the fuck did Hogarth react to the Scales flick on in time? Fair enough to him, honestly. Was it just maybe too central, or... yeah, it kind of was actually. But it was a bit more near post than originally seen. Falkirk have looked like they've got a change or two on. Parkinson has made theirs. Let's see where Hogarth is going to go with this one. You'd imagine up towards the edge of the corner, which is exactly where it goes. Falkirk try to get on the edge of the flick on. Scales takes a risky step in there, but it works out in the end. Maeda gets it from the long ball. Celtic pop it forward just for the sake of it, puts the pressure on. But Falkirk are keeping a number of bodies forward. You've got to give them credit where it's due. Well, that's going to be a foul, 100%. You can't go back to pretend to be fucking injured right after getting up and trying to take the fucking free kick, mate. Eventually Falkirk get the ball moving, and we go again. You got to give Hogarth his credit. He has played a very good second half, some really good saves, good fucking positioning, commanding his box a lot better as well. Which is pretty much the polar opposite of the first half. In the first half he was miles out for the second, well for the first goal, and probably a wee bit unlucky for the second because it's just a really good near post strike. Oh fuck me. Sirachi's just been skint an absolute belter. This could be bad for us. Good fucking step in at the right time. It made it harder for Wilson to get a cleaner shot away. Fuck's sake, Sirachi, that was a bad time slip, man. That could have been fucking bad. Yeah, Scales does just enough without his stretched boot to take the sting out of the shot, but fucking that case in point, man. You got to stay switched on there. Celtic do well to kind of win it back in the right area. Nice little switch and play. Can't really argue with that one. Switch inside, good for you, ball across is dangerous. It is good actually. Yes, Maeda, fucking brilliant big man. There we go. We can fucking say it finally now. I think this game is put to bed. It's 3. Maeda's got on the end of it. Brilliant finish for the big man. It was not the best cross into the box, I'll be honest. But it's one of those crosses that's so fucking good in the sense that if anyone's there, they can get on the end of it. It's such a very awkward ball to deal with if you're a Falkirk defender. Brilliant for Yang to kind of cut it into the space. I think he was originally probably aiming for Iniacho and it's just a bit in behind him. But it falls to the man who's been very much in form today and has now cemented his man of the match prediction. Like 100%. Come on. Fucking solid. It took us a wee bit more work than we would have liked. But it restores that 2-goal advantage and puts us in a very good position. Few minutes to see out now and that 2-goal lead is calm. Prediction so far spot on. Well, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but I do know my team, at least to some degree. I know they're shite and inconsistent and they always concede goals, and that's what's happened. The only thing I've got wrong was the way that the goals would come. I was right about the 2 first half goals for Celtic, but I thought Falkirk would score their goal after we got our third, not us having to respond to them half in the deficit. But we've responded in a very good way. Sinisalo, what the fuck are you doing? That's fair enough. It's actually not a bad ball if Iniacho can put some pressure on it. It helps to just kind of let it run out. We've got a few. You start reading off the fucking lotto numbers like it's the goddamn fucking start hanging for Black Ops. The numbers, Mason. The numbers. Oh shit, that's awkward actually, hold on. I got the jolly whimsical side of myself because we nearly did a Celtic thing there and allowed them back into the game with a stupid pass back. We dealt with it fair enough. Lot of numbers. I don't know, all Celtic related I guess. Just get like Maeda's date of birth. Put that in with like 67 and that should do. Still time for that hat trick. Here, listen, if that's how my prediction gets proven wrong, I'm not mad at it. I'd also say that I'd be very happy if Maeda got a hat trick, and I mean, theoretically it could happen. 100% go down. It's a freedom wrist, obviously. For you, Mason, not for me. That game is OG as fuck. And you settle for the prediction of we will win the league. Now that's a prediction we can all get behind, brother. I can actually smile with half cautious optimism now. I'm not like sitting pure like staring at the screen every half second waiting for a mistake that inevitably gets us a fucking draw. Nice to see you, Kev. How you doing it? Things going good so far? I'd say very decent. Not the worst performance face in the world. I mean, Falkirk have played well enough to, I'd say, merit at least getting a goal out of this game. I think the score is fair. But we've definitely made it difficult for ourselves at points. That's a good little steal, actually. Yang has turned it up over the last 10 minutes. Give him credit. Runs past his man, lays it off, and here's an overlapping run again. Chamberlain goes for the long switch. That could be fucking clasp. What a fucking ball. It's all about my... I was going to say it's all about the touch, but my dad literally cuts me off mid-sentence with a lacklustre one, but he has scored twice and assisted, so... But to sum up, Kev, things are going swimmingly. I suppose I should do some plugging because I haven't even done that. Bear with while I do. Hi, hello, what's good? Hello, what's happening? Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 1888 by the end of this season. It's like a kind of goal, I suppose. Otherwise, just leave a like on the stream if you're already subscribed. I know most of you already do, and that's very much appreciated. Oh, you're absolutely spot on. You can always love COD for Zombies. Maps like Moon and that still have a very, very fun place in my heart. That and Kino. Kino the Torton is just... I still picture that rift in the back of my head. It fucking sticks in my head every time I play that map. We've got a few minutes left in this one. Not too much time for Falkirk to get anything. Realistically, they would need a goal before the 90 and then maybe one heading into additional time. Just have a little look to see what other scores are going on right now, because apparently something's happened in the Newcastle game that's funny as fuck. Oh. Yeah, apparently City are in the FA Cup final. They scored twice in the last 10 minutes to secure that. That's kind of frustrating. It would have been lovely to see Southampton get there. Quite Coven where I have gone. Jesus. To be fair, what was the other map? Was it Black Ops 3, I think? Transit? That's just like an average fucking bus ride through any Scottish community. A few of the Celtic fans trying to beat the traffic, and I don't blame them. Saturday night, it's already heading into that kind of territory where people are heading out for the weekend sessions. Some probably in Celtic Park already midway through theirs. That is a ball. Oh, what a ball that is! My head to kill it! I know he's offside, but that's so annoying that he missed that. I really wanted to at least have like the half second of thinking that he'd scored. It was, yeah, okay, no, he's comfortably offside, but fuck me, how did he miss? His reaction says it all in slow motion. You can see him like, oh no. Falkirk have made it their final change. I believe that's the boy that scored that wonder goal against Rangers. Cartwright's on. Jumping on the first bus going in any edge, quite literally. just jump off, run out of the fields for a wee bit, pick up some wetting pots, you know how it is. I can't really complain about the standard of the second half. A slight dip in form to allow Falkirk back into it, but it was a well worked goal. It was a beautiful team goal for Falkirk, so in that sense you can't really argue with it. In fact, realistically, every goal this game has been pretty well worked in its own ways. No shitty tap-in, scrappy finishes, pretty straightforward, standard football for both teams. Pretty much exactly what you would have expected if you've been watching both of these teams close enough as I have this season. You kind of would have guessed a score like this, but that would have required Celtic to be consistent, which I wouldn't say we've been consistent for the whole 90. I'd say about 70 of it would probably been the better side, but definitely positives to take from it. It kind of puts the pressure firmly on Rangers and Hearts to get the job done on their side tomorrow, because for Rangers anything besides a win would mean that we're level on points, and obviously for Hearts, if they don't win, we are level on points. Both of them will at least need that singular point to keep pace realistically with their goals. There's only about, give or take at this point, about 16 odd seconds left. So it's fair to say Maeda's 100% man of the match for me. And an absolutely wonderful game. I have to say Ralston deserves his nod until he made that little mistake, the little giveaway in the build up to Falkirk's goal. Very solid for him. Tierney obviously deserves a shout for what he was doing. McGregor, pretty solid, comfortable performance throughout most of the match that we've seen him for. But it would be very hard pressed to give anyone besides Maeda man of the match, and I think that's pretty much what's going around the tannoys in the ground right now. But Falkirk's got one last chance before the whistle goes. Maybe just to piss us off and take an extra goal difference after this. When he was teeing up to shoot for range, man, he was fucking tempted by it. So they get the pop out and it's out for another corner kick. Still going for some reason. Next Security game we need Maeda in at 100%, man. That's actually not a bad little ball into the box for Falkirk, but was on the far side. Please blow the whistle now. Still going, Jesus Christ, we're just adding on time for the vibes, I guess, ref. Are you really trying to do this? Giving them every chance to try and get that little goal. Might actually be in Glasgow. For real. Once this is swung in, if it's cleared, then game over. Pretty much. It's cleared. Just kind of waiting on the referee's time now, and there it fucking be. Can't really say they had a good game, but a decent enough one to get the job done is probably the best way to describe it. Solid, boys. Very solid. It does a solid amount of good in terms of table. Let's see if it does that stupid timeout thing. Oh, it doesn't. Fantastic. If you want a little look at the table, gentlemen, there's your little gander right there. Celtic are temporarily second place, as we just discussed. If Rangers don't pick up anything besides 3 points, then realistically it puts us on level points. I mean, I don't expect Rangers to lose. It will be an interesting one to see if they do, but obviously Hearts need to get something now. If they don't pick up a point or whatever, then Celtic are about as close to them as they can get. The only difference that's keeping them in this right now is goal difference, which right now sits at 4 to the good for them, I believe. Yeah, 4. So, I mean, Celtic still need to pick up a good amount of goals in terms of that sense, but getting a 3-1 win against Falkirk is as solid as a start as any. It's saying that it's there, but it's full time, I want to clarify. Can't really argue with it. I mean, stats wise, we were the better side, had more of the ball, more of the chances, but Falkirk had their moments. 100% deserve their credit. 3 points in the bag, have a good rest of the weekend. Likewise with you, Austin, mate, if that's you heading after the night. I can get it because it's a later and kind of kick off. Most people are not going to stick around as much afterwards. Likewise with you, Lindsay. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, lass. You enjoy yourself, not a bother at all. 3 points, happy days. Couldn't have put it better myself for you. If we played a wee bit more convincingly it would have done my heart a bit more good, not going to lie, but I think overall most of us, if you said at the start of the day, what, 3-1 win, we'll take it. And again, it was my prediction and I was right, so ball knowledge, elite ball knowledge, cannot complain about that in the slightest. I mean, I think as a whole could have been a lot worse. We could have let it crumble. I mean, Falkirk, when they got back into the game, we could have repeated what we did against St Mirren less than a week ago. We could have fucked up and tripped ourselves into a really bad situation where they get into the game late again, and they could have potentially got much more out of it. I mean, there was a couple of good saves from both goalkeepers. Hogarth made some cracking stops, but that save in the first half of Salo was massive, kept us in it. Yep, and we know who we're back in tomorrow. It's going to be Hibs and Motherwell. I mean, I should actually just very quickly, so that you can take a gander at it actually, so you know what's happening. These are the games for tomorrow. For those that are interested and curious, but Rangers are up against Motherwell and Hibs are up against Hearts, and both of those games are basically back to back. Right, as soon as that one finishes, Hibs and Hearts kick off. So most likely I'll be in the Discord tomorrow. If you just want to kind of pop in and say hello, you are more than welcome to do so. It's totally free to join, by the way. Sometimes our moderator comes in and he'll kind of stream some of the matches alongside to obviously keep people updated. Plus, it's always kind of funnier watching people lose their shit in real time. Plus, there are Rangers fans in the Discord as well, with people like Gaz. So, something in Glasgow where they fucking fair enough. But in terms of fixtures for us, that's the relegation group. Can we get the championship group, please? Thank you. Obviously, I've got these two games here, but the next one for us that you might want to take note of. Excellent. I swear to fucking. Well, I guess not. You can see it at the very least, so I suppose there is that, but we do love when it fucking randomly foxes about. But Hibs v Celtic, that's the next one on the 3rd of May, which is next Sunday, I believe, next Sunday, yeah. And that's at 12. So, I don't know, honestly, I will be live for it or not. Most likely I will try to be. Nice to see you, and hello to you as well, my guy, that's you heading off. I don't think I've got too much else to realistically kind of cover. We'll kind of just content with what we've seen. Realistically, I think a lot of us are in the same boat. Could have been a lot worse. Pretty standard, half decent performance. Nobody was swinging for the fences and pulling out 10 out of 10 performances, but Maeda was convincing enough, did what he needed to do, so I'm quite content and quite happy with that. Could have been very stressful, but Maeda's pressing was pretty much crucial for us in the first half. Obviously getting that opening goal, and can't really argue with the work that he put in for the second. The finish for Tierney was goal of the game. As much as Wilson's goal was nice, Tierney's was goal of the game for me 100%. It was an absolute fucking belter. Cannot argue with it in the damn slightest, man. Very solid first. And again, Falkirk get back into with that Wilson goal, which was a genuinely beautiful goal. But thankfully, we managed to just about get the job done with that Maeda brace off of that really very clever Yang ball into the box. So I think overall, most of us would say decent enough, right? We had 2 onto the goal difference, which is always a nice little incentive. And with the next game being against Hibs, depending on how they play tomorrow, then it gives a rough idea of what we could potentially be dealing with around a week from now, because again it's pretty interesting, especially with how things are going, because again, I mean, who knows, right? Like, I mean, if Rangers slip up tomorrow, which is definitely doable, it's certainly 100% doable, although Motherwell are a bit of a different beast at home than they are away from home. They don't tend to be as consistent, so. But Hibs being at home against Hearts, that is a big swing match. If Hibs can get something out of that game, it gives them confidence to get something off of Celtic the next week as well. So it's one of those, well, best case scenario for me ideally is that maybe Hibs and Hearts draw, and Rangers and Motherwell have a similar type of result. It just kind of closes everything down a little bit more, because you feel like if Hearts don't get something out of the game against Hibs tomorrow, then they still have to take on 3 very strong sides in Motherwell, Celtic and Rangers, and you'd have to say from that point they would not be very much favoured to go on and win the whole thing. But Celtic have done what we needed to do today. We've kept pace, we've got the goals that we've needed, had semi-decent performances, a couple of really weird defensive mistakes at times, but as a whole, most of us would kind of put that down as like a B minus B type grade. Nothing spectacular, nothing out of this world, but when we played very nice, we had some good little momentum kind of passages here and there, so I can't complain about it at all. Very, very chuffed in that sense. So I'm going to pull up all the things I need to get ready to wrap this one up. But I mean, this game was quite easily accessible in a lot of ways, so the fact that anyone's decided to join us is very much appreciated. 100%. Didn't check to see if we gained any subscribers, but we'll do that now just so that I can thank anyone that has. Doesn't seem to be the case, but then again, this was mostly at least most people enjoy the ones that I usually see quite often. So the usuals, thank you very much for joining us, is appreciated as always. Let me just pull up the outro music. Pretty decent. That's basically everything that needs to be covered, needs to be dealt with. So let's get ready to wrap this up. So thank you for watching, thank you for coming along. If you've been here for the whole stream or just a little bit of it, you've been appreciated nonetheless. We got the job done today, pretty happy with it. You're more than welcome to try and join us next time. If I'm live for it, you'll probably get a notification in the Discord for those that are in there, whether I'll be doing that game or not, but I'll try my best to make sure that I have every means possible to do so. But that will be on the 3rd of May. But we got the job done today. We really just needed a simple, decent, basic, convincing performance, and we got that job done. 3-1 right there. Very calm, very simple, very straightforward. If you want to have a look at the goals, you're more than welcome to go and take a look on live score, but I can't show you that for obvious reasons. But those are the 2 games to keep an eye out for tomorrow. Like I said, if you want to join the Discord, maybe you'll see us in there. It'll be an interesting one for damn sure. Hello to you as well, Chateau. Appreciate you for keeping tabs as a moderator. Likewise with you, Virtual. You're both appreciated as always, my brothers. And I think that's pretty much everything that needs to be covered. So I think that's basically, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's basically everything. So consider joining us next time if you would like to, and pretty sure that's all of it. We can do a little kind of yas, a little yes! And that sorts that out. Just because I missed it earlier on, and I mean, yeah. But there'll be bigger ones to come, especially if we get results against Hearts and Rangers. Trust me, you'll see me standing against that wall yelling at full fucking pelt. But in the meantime, and until next time, Celtic are still the best goddamn team in the world. It's been a pleasure. On to you as always, boys. And until then, hail hail, have a good one. Take it easy. Glad we got that job done. Fair enough. On to the next one, Till then, boys.